Hello, today we'll be going through the log directive. So if you go to the official documentation under the defining workflow section in the Snake files and rules, you can find the subsection on log files. So we'll be covering this topic today. So today we're using Snakemake version 7.26.0, and we'll start by creating a snake file. And here I'll create a rule, hello, and then this doesn't take any input, it only takes an output. I'll send this output to the output directory and then call it hello.text, and shell, where I just say I echo hello into the output directory. Okay, and I'll run that. Let's specify the output file. So that ran, and inside our output directory we have the hello.text file. Okay, but it's commonly the case where you have in the situation where you would like to create your output file, but your script or your tool that you're using, the command you're using, creates a log file. So you might want to do something like this. So hello.log. And then here you'd say something happened. I'm just in the command line, I'm just simulating a situation where here I would do, let's say this is the main output and then this is the log output. Output log, and then this is .main. So I would do something like this. And I'll rerun. Now I've created the text file and then the log file with different contents. Now you can do this, or there's also the log directive, which is our main topic today, and then we can do this instead. So here I would change this to log. I can rerun it, and then it's essentially the same thing. So what is the benefit of using the log directive explicitly instead of just adding another log output in the output file and then redirecting my standard error information or any logging information to that? So the main difference is that if I would have this log file here, and then I would get this back to output.log, and I will simulate an error in the rule. So by adding this here, I'm gonna say this rule didn't run properly, so there was some sort of error. And then I'll put text. So this rule is gonna rerun, but it's gonna say we have an error. Now, if you encounter an error in your rule, what Snakemake usually does is it removes your output because there's a potential that your output file is corrupted. So you can see here in the message, removing output files a failed job, hello, since they might be corrupted. So it removed the main output file and also the logging file. But if you would change this using the logging directive, let's get rid of this main as well, and then just modify, and then I'll put that to log, and then I will rerun this. Now we still have the error, but only the output file was deleted. So the hello.text file has been deleted, but the rule didn't delete the log file because this potentially has information of why this rule didn't run properly, depending on how you configured it. So that is the main benefit. So log files are not deleted when you encounter an error with the rule. So let's just remove that exit statement and then just rerun it just to show that it completes, and now you have both files. Okay, so let's expand on this. So here I've demonstrated that you need to use the log directive within the shell command. what people generally do is they have a script. Let's create it. Just gonna create a very basic file. And then echo contents of the script. And also another line of echo where this is a standard error. And then I'm going to redirect this output to the file descriptor 2. If you want to understand what this is, you can Google file descriptors in Bash and you'll find some information about that. Okay, so I'll save that and then change the permission of this file so that we can run this. And then I'll create another rule where let's take the input of the previous rule and then output I'll do hello output script.text and then shell. Oh, I forgot the log. Script.log and then add in the contents in the shell directive. So here we'll first concatenate the input file into the output, and then I'll run the script sh, and this is going to it's going to echo a standard output and also a standard error. So we would like to append the standard error into the output file and then the standard error into the log file. So this is generally how you would use the log directive, where you would, in the shell directive, you would specify that you would have some of the contents in the log file. Okay, let's have a look at the script. So here, script.text, it has the contents of the hello.txt and also the echo that's generated from the script, and also the script.log file, which contains just the standard error. Now I'll give you another example. So here we'll make a very basic Python rule where it takes the output would be output python.text and also a log of output python.log. And then here again, similar thing, but we'll create a Python script this time, python.py, and then let's have it we'll give it 2 arguments. So here we're not redirecting, we're just giving it as an argument, which you might do with some sort of script or a command line tool. Let's save that, and then I'll create this Python script. Let's do user bin m5.3, and then here I'll import the sys library and also the logging library. I won't explain what these are for, so output file is going to be our first argument. So we're taking this value, we're reading that argument by using this method in the attribute in the sys package and saving it to the output file. And then the log file, we're going to do the same because it's the second argument. And then here we're going to use the basic config method of the logging. Our name is going to be our log file. Okay, let me just get rid of that. And here we'll do name equals main. We will open the file, with open output file in write mode as F, and then here I'll do F write. We'll say this is the Python script. Okay, so we're writing this string into the output file that we've specified. and then using the logging package, we'll add a message. This is the warning message. Okay, so now I've created a Python script. I'll change the permission. Okay, now I've created a minimal Python script, which just to simulate that, I wanted to give another example where I'm not using the redirect methods, redirecting of bash, and simulate a situation where you might use a script or a pipeline or a command line tool where you pass in a logging file as the argument. Okay, so let's run that. So snakemake pause1, and then I'll do output python.text. As generated, if we have a look, we have this line has been written into the output file, and then the python.log has the warning message. So you can read up what the logging package does and why there's this prefix added to the message that I've written in here. Okay. I want to end with one more example. I just want to add one more example. So here I'm just going to, I want to add another example where I show you with the real command line tool. So this is a command line tool called Plink. Let me just prepare this. So this is a pre-compiled binary. So this is, if I do Plink, I've unzipped the zip file, and now I've got a command line tool in my current working directory. So if I use the help option, I'll get the manual. And then this also, the zip file also provides a example input file that I can use. So I'll just delete the files that I don't need. So I've got the Plink binary and then the toy examples. Okay, so now let's create another rule. I'm going to call it Plink this time, where it takes in the inputs. So I've got the ped file, it's toy.ped, and then a map file, toy. You don't need to know what this tool does. If you're a bioinformatician, you might be familiar with it, but it's not crucial to know. I'm just using a example for demonstration purposes. So I'll do multi-x output, and then here I'll do bed and then I'll add the log directive, which is going to save a output log file. And here I'll add the shell directive again, where I'm running the Plink command line tool. And then ped, output input ped, map has the input map, and then make bed. So what this is doing, I'll just finish off actually. And then finish it off with silent. Okay, here, so I specified two input files and a params directive. So I'm adding this as a parameter, and then the outputs and the log. So what this is doing is basically I'm getting these two input files and I'm outputting it into a different format. So this is a genotype data in a text file format, where I'm using Plink to change the text file format of the genotype data into a binary format. You don't have to understand what this means. But here there is a case where I'm specifying, I don't actually use the output directive or the log directive in the shell, inside the shell. And here it's because this particular command, you specify the prefix of the output files you want to generate. So based on that prefix, it generates the bed bim fam files and also the log file for that. So, and then the silent option I've added because if I don't add it, it outputs the same logging information to both the terminal and also to the log file. I'm not interested in the log messages being displayed on the screen, so I'm just adding this option here. Okay, so I'll save that, and then let's clear the screen, and then I'll run Snakemake, and the output is output.bed. I run that, and the rule runs, and I can see we have the 3 files here. Not interested. And also you can see the output.log file, where this is the command line tool's way of generating the log file, the log messages of how it ran. Okay. In some cases, you may need to use the log directive inside the shell, in the shell directive. You don't have to specify it. And in cases like this, where you don't necessarily need to specify it, but it will still show you that the log file has been generated. A few more things before I end. So, like how I demonstrated, you could have multiple outputs, so main, secondary, something like this. You can have multiple outputs. You can do the same with the log files. So I could have done, so standard, so main, and then a second output log file, log2, something like this. So second log file, where here I'll do second and here. So in this way, just like how you would have multiple output files, you can also have multiple log files as well and handle it like this. And also, the existence of a log file isn't necessarily checked when you're running the rule. So say I could have had one log file, I could have maybe completely forgot it and just didn't add it. So I will run that rule again. Let's clear the screen. I can run it. It still runs, you see. And then this message, because I'm not redirecting it to a log file, it's just displaying it on the screen. But the existence of the log file isn't checked, and it's not crucial for the completion of the rule. So although if I delete the log file, I'll delete the output file as well, just for demonstration. And then if I rerun it, I'm not redirecting my output to a log file, so this shouldn't be generated, but you can see it still generates it as an empty file. So you should just be aware of that nuance. Okay, that's it for today. So that was the log directive of Snakemake. If you have any, there's more details about this directive. There's more information in the official documentation, so you can refer to if you have any more concerns. If you have any other questions, you can leave a comment. I'll try my best to answer them if I can. Otherwise, thank you.